Show. You're still watching E Central. Now today we're diving into the world of art. We'll be joined by Nigerian artists to talk about the creative business, the value or perhaps undervalue of African art. Is art only accessible and appreciated by the elite? Is it a profitable profession here in Nigeria? And what the future possibly holds for the industry. Please welcome artist and culture architect Sly Megida. Sly, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, great to have you.
I must, first of all, say your work is cool, but your name is even cool as well.
There are a lot of I had to put in a lot of creativity to come up with my name, actually.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's not your actual name?
Not my actual name, but it's part of me. It has been a part of me from day one.
I like that. I like that. Well, some people would say Sam Dandy is not my actual name too, so it makes sense. It makes sense. Now, what are your thoughts about the current perception of African art? Do you think it's valued well enough, whether here in the country and out of the country?
So, there's been a lot going on in terms of how we've been undervalued as artists in the creative world or in the creative space. First of all, our founding fathers, they've been undervalued before us. So we are just here trying to, change that perspective, change that narrative, do better, do more, build more structures, and make people understand that African art is a thing, is untapped, and is a thing everybody has to, put their hands in. Because I feel like, it's an industry where we can make so much, not just in terms of money, but in terms of values, building the minds of our people in terms of creativity, having a better environment, better people, doing better, and all that. So it has been undervalued over time.
I'm not going to lie to you, Nigerians are one of the most talented people. We all know this. I mean, looking at your work, and there are a lot of artists everywhere, but how would you say, the industry has grown over the years? You talked about, the forefathers before it's been undervalued, and now, do you think you're bridging the gap better now? Do you think people are seeing and appreciating more art?
I think a lot of artists are doing awesome right now, in building this whole structure. They are adding their own values, doing more, doing better. So right now, it's just left for the audience, our people, to actually see art as a tool to move our nation or black people or, move us forward, actually.
I see that. I see how, it's a part of us,
it's a part of
and
us.
it can truly inspire the next generation. But let me ask you this question, because I think a lot of people, especially the average man who's watching, saying, okay, his work looks cool. Is art affordable? Can anybody afford art? Especially when, there's so much talent and work put into it.
Yeah, art is affordable. It just depends on who is buying and how you're buying.
Okay.
So it's affordable if you're able to connect into the story. Everybody's not supposed to exchange money for an art piece, but there's a message in every painting that everybody needs to go home with. Because art basically reflects the society. So I talk about identity, social, I'm an observer, so I observe a lot what's going on right now. So we are reflecting the society. You might not be able to buy in terms of money, but you'll be able to buy into the story or the idea or the concept of what this artist is trying to reflect to you. I think it's going to help.
I like that. That's like preaching the message of appreciating art, I guess I want to, of course, we've seen your work. You have done sync files, a lot of interesting projects that you've put out. I want to ask about your creative process. What it's like to put art together. Where does it come from for you? How do you get inspired to then say, this is what I want to do?
Okay, first of all, I like to be very observant. Understand what is the societal issue, what I want to preach about, what I want to paint about. It has to have that spark in me, something that, because it takes time to create these things, to connect with other people. These are not just random paintings of figures. These are things that represent or reflect the society. So what I do first is to be able to observe, observe my surrounding, my environment, talk more with people, connect to people, understand what they're going through, what's the story, what are you saying, what's happening to you. So if I can get that, from different people around me, I think that's how I start to start writing stuff. I write first, then I sketch.
Wow.
And then after sketching, I can sketch like 10 times on just one topic. And after sketching, then I move to my, painting canvas.
You know what? I don't want to be like we're just talking, and he actually did bring a piece with us here in the studio. So we're going to go this quick break. When we come back, we'll bring that to you, and you tell us if you're feeling it or not.
Yeah.
Of course, we're having this conversation about art with Sly right here in the studio. You're watching E-Central. We'll be right back after this. Thank you for staying with us. You're also watching E-Central. Now we are joined, of course, by special guests, and we've been having a conversation around the appreciation of art over the past few years. And of course, Sly, thank you for still being here, a part of the show. I want to ask this question before, of course, you present to us a piece of yours. How long does it take to, is it the same when you work on a project? Would you say, oh, it takes about this amount of hours to create a masterpiece? How long?
So I would say for painting, it depends on the story you're telling.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes it can take a month, 3 months for just a piece, or it can take a week. And
Interesting.
also it can take, faster times than that. So
Okay.
it just depends on the story you're telling.
Well, I mean, you do have one you brought with you today, and I'm looking at it like I see a mother, a child.
Yeah.
Let's present that to the people. Let's see what that looks like.
Let's have
Just in
this.
case you're wondering and you're asking yourself, what does his work look like in person? How big are they?
Yeah, so big.
This is actually really good looking. Wow. Okay, let's do it. Interesting. Sly, you got to tell me about this.
Yeah.
What inspired this particular piece?
So being in search of my inner greatness inspired this. And I was connecting the dots while I was creating this. Like I said, I'm a social observer. So I was connecting the dots while I was creating this. The title of this is Oshanto. It means my treasure.
Oh, what language is that?
It's a Middle Belt language.
Okay.
So I was somewhere painting in Abuja, and I had this person that we used to talk.
Okay.
It's like a security guy. He's a security guy. But one day I met him excited, and he told me that he has been looking for a child for a long time.
Oh, wow.
With his wife, and he just put to bed recently. He had to name the child Oshanto, and means my treasure, because they've been searching for a child for over 20-something years. So I thought to myself, who is bearing a child of greatness? Like, when will I deliver and be excited about my own child? So I could connect because I saw how happy he was, and I was trying to express myself at the time about bringing out your potentials, your inner greatness, what you can do that will create that excellent result and help the world you are living in.
Wow.
So I thought to myself, I have to name my inner greatness Oshanto, and that's how I got this.
Wow.
Yeah, and it also speaks about motherhood, the importance of motherhood, because relating it to the wife, I was like, women they keep a child for 9 months. They're so patient, and when they give birth, finally give birth to this child, they nurture this child. They know this child will not walk on the first day. So that's how it is with our greatness. You get me? So I had to,
when people say
relate
art
to
is
that.
a message, this
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at it, we can tell the obvious, it's a mother and a child, and that is beautiful.
Yeah.
But now that you've broken it down, I feel like, I could relate a lot more.
Yeah.
Do you find that many times with work or generally with art, sometimes you need to explain for people to fully understand?
Yeah, that's what it is, because most times people, especially from this part of the world, they kind of look paintings as just beauty aesthetics. Oh, it's beautiful. They don't want to dive in to understand the mind of the creator. And seeing people, you have to explain, tell the stories, and you find out that people will be able to relate because of the relatable things you're able to say in terms of your art piece relating to their daily life.
Right.
And that's what all about. For my art to be able to make impact, make a change, put that drive out there where people are inspired and want to do better and do more.
I mean, that makes sense. That's what we need right now. In fact, the next generation is looking for it to being encouraged with such things. I want to ask a question, and I'm sure people are probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
What size is this?
So this is 3 feet by 42 inches.
Okay, and out of curiosity, generally, a piece in this size, how much would this possibly go for?
Okay, very cheap.
But stop. When an artist says very cheap, okay, go ahead.
Very cheap, because me giving you this is me giving you something that will inspire both this generation and the future generation. It's something you look at and reflect and say, yes, this is something so meaningful that will inspire others to do more and do better. So it's just $15,000 for it, and it's so cheap. I had to give it. It's like a giveaway price for me. You get me? Because me seeing this every morning inspires me to do more.
do
and
more.
do better. So
I mean, that makes sense. Now, for the average person, they might say, this is more expensive than I'm expecting, you know, but at the same time, I see after the message through the art that you're telling a story and, you know, it comes from more. So which is why you can't put a value on talent, you know, you can't. But people will still say that, you know, art and appreciating art, when you even put the price to it, it's for the elites. It's for those who have money. It's for those who are rich. What do you think about that?
I think the elites are able to understand the message. They don't connect to the painting, or they connect to the painting, but they connect more to the message.
Okay.
If it's something they can relate to, they invest, you know, no matter what the amount is, in order to, you know, be filled with this message and this, you know, whatever the art has to offer to you, because these colors offer, you know, greatness to our minds. Seeing beautiful things make you want to do greatness, do better things. So the elites, they understand this thing better, unlike the, you know, middle class who is trying to just feed or impress people and stuff like that.
That makes sense. We better surround ourselves with gorgeous things, because I want to be great. Let's talk about, you know, public perception a little bit more. I mean, things like art exhibitions, you know, putting that together. We've seen that happen more recently, you know. But I want to ask about if that's something that you do as well, you know, and what that does for arts as a whole, whether you doing it exclusively alone, you know, funding it yourself, or even having people support. What does that do to the art sector?
Okay, so for exhibitions are just there to showcase, like tell the stories, which is very important for every artist to exhibit their works. But on a daily note, we're exhibiting. We're exhibiting every day, because the social media platform is like a medium to always show your art and show yourself. So we are exhibiting on a daily basis. So exhibition is very important for an artist to be able to tell his stories, be vocal about what he or she is, you know, the story he or she is actually telling.
You know, you said something, and I think this has impacted a lot of industries right now, social media. You know, you could post music today on TikTok, and it blows up, and you're made. You know, and this is different parts of art as well. Has that positively influenced like your work? Has it impacted your work as well?
Oh, social media has been a great tool for me, because, you know, I've had a lot of people, you know, find me out from social media, the likes of Don Jazzy, you know, the likes of Pato Rankin, and many more. Social media has been the tool I've been using to, you know, push out my art, push boundaries, you get me? Make sure that I can be in Lagos and my art is being seen in Russia, it's being seen in the United States, it's being seen in China. So it has been a big tool. I've gone viral a couple of times, you get me? So I see the interesting things social media do. We exhibit on a daily basis.
Yeah, I like that. Instead of, it makes sense, instead of traditional exhibitions where people have to come, every single day your life, what you post could be. So you would advise anyone who is in arts to use socials and post, because it could be hard sometimes. You go try sometimes, you know, reach where it won't make you reach.
I tell you, see, we artists, we're not even friendly with social media, because we are kind of these weirdos. We want to be in our world. Our brain is so busy, so we don't want to engage in whatever trend or challenge that's going on. But I would advise every artist to take art not just as a form of creativity, but business. Okay. It's very important.
I want to wrap it up because, of course, you know, art is business, because you're going to make money from what you do. Of course. But let's talk about, you know, the government's role and perhaps what the problems that artists are experiencing and how that could, you know,
so, you know, when it comes to art is all about, creativity is all about ideas. And you need the well-structured environment to execute your ideas. And it's only the government that can create this, you know, awareness centers for us, like where to exhibit, the kind of history books we're supposed to use to enlighten ourselves, to be able to tell stories better, African stories better, authentic ones. So there have been a lot of challenges for artists, a lot, and even the society are still seeing artists as people who just do things for aesthetic base. They don't understand that this is storytelling and they have to support. You get me? They have to, you know, be a part of it, buy into it in any way, invest in it, and all that. So,
Sly, I mean, hearing your message after seeing your work is incredible. Sly Megida, I wish we had more time to spend on the show, but of course, artist and super cool title, culture architect. I like that. Thank you so much for spending time with us on the show.
Thank you so much.
I hope that has definitely inspired you. I mean, we brought you the biggest stories in entertainment, and now we brought you an exclusive. Hopefully, this inspires you to dream for greatness and work towards it, and surround yourself with beautiful things. That is the start of something. My name is Sam Danny. Back tomorrow, same time, 4:30 p.m. to bring you entertainment as you get hot. This is bye for now.